Kevin and I were high school sweethearts, and we got married in 1991 and decided to try to start having children. So the journey didn't turn out quite like we planned. It was a struggle, and we went through infertility. Going through infertility like I did was so hard, and all the drugs and the hormonal roller coasters and the feeling that I couldn't be a wife in that sense, to my husband. It was a struggle all the time. And so I felt like I was letting our marriage down, and I was letting Kevin down. And he was so supportive, and he's like, well, we just have to give this to God because maybe this is not what he has planned. Well, once we started doing the adoption and getting prepared for it, it's just like everything fell into place, and there was just such a peace. At the time, I was working at the Orman Center for Women as an LPN. And why you would think obstetrics and gynecology, that would be hard because I was going through infertility, it was where I needed to be. It gave me a good feeling because I knew how those ladies came to become pregnant and their gifts from God. One day, a young lady came into the office, and she had just found out she was pregnant. So she had told one of the nurses that she was working with that she had went to the crisis pregnancy center because she was so confused and she didn't know what to do. She wanted to keep the baby, but her mother was pushing her towards abortion. And she just felt like she just could not do that. And she was lost. She was only 19. And so they said, well, we recommend you go and speak to someone at the Orman Center for Women. So one of the nurses, Miss Courtney, said, we have actually someone in our office who has just started the adoption process. And if you have questions, why don't you talk to her? I told her, if she had any questions, just to reach out to me. Well, she did. She called me, and she said, well, I would like to meet with you and your husband about possibly adopting my child. And so we, as a couple, met Amber. We all just knew that it just felt right. That was what was meant to be. So then it was time for Hayden to come into the world, and it was a wonderful experience, and we kept in touch with Amber for quite a while. So proud of her for making that decision. She so easily could have went the other way and listened to her mother, but she just felt like something wasn't right when she went to the Crisis Pregnancy Center and spoke to them, and she knew the right choice to make, and we're so thankful for that.
I don't think being adopted's changed me just because they've always been just parents, better than anything I could ever ask for. I mean, it means a lot to me that they could just find somebody and just pick me up like I was their own.
The minute that he came out into this world, we looked at him and we're like, he looks exactly like Kevin's baby picture. I mean, that in itself is a blessing from God. It was all meant to be.
They mean everything to me. They're my parents. And life was great. They put ever beyond for me since I was born. It means a lot to me because they give me a life I would have never been able to live beforehand.
Once we let go and let God take control, he led us to the Crisis Pregnancy Center. He led Amber to the Crisis Pregnancy Center. And we were able to have Hayden. We were able to provide him a life that he couldn't have had if it had not been for them, and a safe place for Amber to go. Then she could have easily been swayed by her mother to go in a different direction. And I know that she's happy that she made the right decision. She's always told us, and she reaches out every now and then just to check on us and see how things are going. And if it wasn't for the Crisis Pregnancy Center, we wouldn't have Hayden today. So we highly recommend Crisis Pregnancy Center. And through them, they brought us Hayden, and also through them, it led us from Hayden to Emmett and to Sophie Claire. And we have 3 beautiful children that it all started with the Crisis Pregnancy Center.